Oil prices are expected to fall this week because of the favorable supply outlook as reported by CNBC. U.S. crude oil production climbed 8,000 barrels a day to 6.68 million barrels, the highest since 1994. Crude inventories remain at a 5-year high. The impact of political factors is predicted to remain calmer this week than recent weeks, with the reports that China is doing better than expected, and the belief is a compromise can be reached regarding the fiscal cliff. Asian markets are mixed on Monday, while European markets are mostly positive. The Dow closed on Friday up 4 points to end at 12,815. The Great Parliament approved the country's 2013 austerity budget early Monday, which should guarantee that creditors pay the next installments of $40 billion of their loan. The Associated Press reports that Greece will be out of cash on Friday when $6.35 billion of Treasury notes mature. While the European finance ministers meet this week, they won't promise that the funds will be released this week. Approximately 15,000 people were protesting outside Parliament immediately before the vote. Last week, 80,000 people protested the austerity measures that were passed on Wednesday. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that U.S. airlines are facing the most serious pilot shortage since 1960s, just as high experience requirements take hold. The challenge is caused by the fact that numerous pilots are facing retirement age. The newly hired pilots must have at least 1,500 hours of prior flight experience, 6 times the current amount. This is difficult when rising costs and extended training time are exacerbated by a career in which pay cuts and more demanding schedules are becoming more common. The airlines are also challenged because in 2014, the daily rest time required for pilots will be increased, requiring the airlines to increase their pilot ranks by at least 5%. Today, there are about 96,000 pilots, and the airlines will need to hire more than 65,000 within the next 8 years. In the past 8 years, only 36,000 pilots have passed the FAA's test and requirements. KKR, the private equity firm immortalized as Barbarian at the Gate, is launching 2 investment funds to be distributed by Charles Schwab. According to CNBC, this move is a sign of the pressure of private equity firms to become more like traditional asset management firms. Firms such as KKR are looking to increase assets under management and earn revenue through traditional asset management fees rather than taking profits through buyouts and sales of companies in their portfolios. KKR will be launching a high-yield credit fund with a minimum investment of $2,500. It is also offering a distressed opportunity fund with a minimum investment of $25,000. Egypt has requested a $4.8 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, but has yet to present a detailed economic reform plan, according to the Wall Street Journal. Egypt has been receiving economic aid from both Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Currently, Egypt lacks a parliament and is in the process of debating new constitution, but they don't see these issues as impacting a potential agreement with the IMF. The new James Bond movie Skyfall opened with a record debut, bringing in $87.8 million, according to the Associated Press. Worldwide, the movie has brought over $518 million since it opened in overseas markets in late October. While Skyfall marketed a new high for Bond's opening weekend, it adjusted for inflation. Sean Connery's Bond adventures, Thunderball and Goldfinger, will have beat Skyfall. This is the 50-year anniversary for the Bond franchise. The Associated Press indicates that the U.S. Department of Energy and Industry partners have drilled into a large reserve of methane hydrate, which looks like ice but burns like a candle if a match warms its molecules. While recent success of fracking has eliminated the need for methane, the main ingredient of natural gas, for now, the DOE and others want to test and have ready the methane for the future. Researchers will begin testing how the reservoir responds to extraction of the gas. One of the concerns of using methane hydrate for fuel is the impact it might have on the environment. Northward winds are driving record growth of winter seas and ice around Antarctica, according to the Wall Street Journal. New research based on 19 years of daily ice motions measurements recorded by 4 satellites from the U.S. Defense MSP program documents for the first time that long-term changes in the drift of annual sea ice is impacted by winds. While the ice around the Arctic Ocean was the lowest since 1979, the sea ice in the Antarctic has been increasing by 6,600 square miles every year during the same time. Scientists do not know whether this is a link to global warming. USA Today reports that the number of international students enrolled in U.S. colleges climbed 6% to a record 64,495 this year. The largest increases came from China and Saudi Arabia. The number of U.S. students earning credit abroad also continues to increase, but at a slower rate. In 2010-11, 273,996 U.S. students studied abroad, up 1.3% from the previous year. About 14% of the U.S. students earning bachelor's degrees this year studied abroad. A study indicates, however, that 38% of international students felt they did not develop strong friendships in the U.S., and 27% were not satisfied with the friends they have made. International students contributed $22.7 billion to the U.S. economy last year in tuition, fees, and living expenses. Reporting from Millionaire Corner, I'm Heather Kiley. Thanks for watching.